Get it, boy.
Ready or not.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fins Faithful podcast on this 3-Wide Wednesday. Well, something's got to give, boys. The Dolphins face the Jets Monday night, both 0-3. Only one is going to leave with their first victory. We'll break it all down, how we got here, what must change for Miami to get their first victory and finally get on the board. You know, as always, we're live with you guys on YouTube, so make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, help support the channel, all that good stuff. Let them know we're covering the Dolphins here on the Fins Faithful podcast. So let's dig into it. To help me do it all, not only the co-pilot and co-host as always, Mr. Jason Sarney, but we got the Dive Bar in the house. My man Bobby Chauce, friend of the program from the Dive Bar podcast. Fellas, how you doing?
Doing just peachy, George. How's everybody out there in Dolphin land? How you doing, Bobby?
I was doing better until George hit me with a low blow. I'm not going to call him out on the air, but George let me know where we stand behind the scenes, and that's fine.
So we're going to start off on that note. This doesn't have anything to do with a Dive Bar hat, right, that I was given at a great appearance. By the way, shout out to that great appearance, you guys, with Tranquilo Sports. El Vecino, that was the cigar bar down there, downtown Miami, which me and Bobby finally got to meet one-on-one. I'll do something with the Dive Bar hat. Maybe I'll take a picture, or when I go on your show, I'll wear it. You know what I mean?
I see his angle now. He's trying to get on the show. I got you.
Yeah. So and Jason will come with me, and Jason will wear his too. How about that?
There you go. Hey,
Jason, break the tie here. You understand me here, right?
I get you, but I'm not taking any sides. I'm Switzerland here. I'm neutral.
All right.
Jason, what's that over your shoulder?
It appears to be a hat with aqua and orange lettering and a pretty cool logo.
Yeah. The Fins Faithful one? Oh, you haven't got it yet. Sorry. It's in the mail, Jason.
It's like the check.
Yeah, pigeon carrier.
All right, so let's get into more serious stuff here. Before we get, I want to start with something here. Last episode, you know, we had the Tua episode. You know, how much is to blame on him? And there was some, let's just say there were some few people who thought we were a little harsh on Tua, a little negative. You know, we got negative on him. I think through this whole process, I've been, Jason, you can speak to this. I've been somebody who's been pretty fair with Tua throughout his career. I've always gave my raw, honest opinion on what's going on. You know me. I don't sell smoke. I don't sell narratives. I see it. I say it. And I've held on to that small bit of hope that Tua's been the guy, but it's been decreasing every year. And then once you decide to sign him to that big contract, I'm sorry, but I'm holding him to the standard of a franchise quarterback. And for various reasons, you know, we mentioned in the last episode, it's clear, you know, I just don't see him. It's been very evident this year. It's kind of been a stamp for me. I don't see him as a long-term answer anymore. There's a clear regression. And if you watch last episode, there's various reasons why there's been that regression. Some reasons we don't even know about. But one thing I am tired of, right, is hearing about the offensive line, the right guard missing assignment, the play call, which all can be true in some cases. But you're paying this guy as your franchise quarterback to elevate and make the one or two plays when the game comes down to it and when it matters the most. And he's obviously come up short in those moments. So I personally speak for myself. I have no more excuses. I don't want to spend the last 15 years between Ryan Tannehill and Tua Tagovailoa waiting for an answer that we already know. And for some people who are upset that we're negative, sometimes the truth hurts. And if that changes, I'll be honest with you and I'll tell you. But right now, it's the way I see it, Mr. Jason Sarney. What's up, brother?
Well, let me unwrap this a little bit further here. You know, throughout this process leading into the season, I was joking around with a little bit of seriousness, saying I'm not doing the hopium this year. I'm doing the realium, and the realium of this is Tua is part of why they are 0-3. He's not 100% the reason. There's your percentage for you. There are a lot of reasons why this team is not on a win column just yet. Now, if you want to break down things individually and start with Tua and end with Tua, you do have the right to do that, George, because you broke down the tape very eloquently the other night on our show. And when you rewatch, you could see certain things that don't remind you or me or other people of 2023 Tua, when there is an argument to be made that he may have peaked in a perfect world with a better offensive line, with a brand new system that the NFL wasn't necessarily prepared for. And, you know, when you have a running back in Raheem Mostert scoring 20 touchdowns, a rookie in 8 that no one saw coming really from an NFL standpoint, Tyreek going for 2,000, Waddle doing his penguin dance more often. Everything was working for Tua to just do what he is very good at, getting the ball out quickly, throwing people open, being accurate, keyhole accuracy he had. And now we're not necessarily seeing that. We're not seeing progress from that 2 years ago. And we are seeing reasons why maybe that hip is coming back, and that lack of zip on the ball and that lack of power and torque and everything you need beyond just an arm to throw and deliver a football. So I'm not saying this is all on Tua. And I know you're not either.
Yeah.
You would, correct me if I'm wrong, and Bobby, I'd love to hear your thoughts too. You want a quarterback who could say, all right, despite some glaring issues on the line, despite this, that, or the other thing, not having a tight end, the quarterback's going to make plays even when a pocket breaks down, even when something's not perfect. And while we might have seen a couple of instances where he's done that, it hasn't been as consistent as you would like. Is that fair?
Fair. That's a great way to put it. I couldn't have said it better myself. I always said it comes down to a couple plays. Every team's going to have issues throughout the game. The offensive line, you know, whether you go with the defense, the play calling. But, you know, when I look back on that, you know, I was watching some of the highlights, actually, of the Broncos game in the 23. It almost just looks like we caught this league by surprise. And they kind of just – I don't want to say wildcat, but something sort of similar to that. We kind of caught them by surprise. And now they caught up. We had no counter. And the various reasons we mentioned on that show, his regression, whether it's the hip, whether he's in his own head, whether he should get listening to all the noise about I can't get hurt, I got to get rid of the ball, I got to slide, I can't take a hit. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Bobby. I don't know if you saw our last episode, but we kind of broke it down. But I would love to get your thoughts. I haven't heard on this whole thing with Tua.
Yeah, I didn't see the last episode, so I'm not sure, you know, what y'all did or didn't do, or, you know, if George put his foot in his mouth or not. I'm sure he did. He likes doing that. But, I mean, look, bottom line, right? Quarterback gets responsibility at the end of the day. That's just how that works. When you make 50+ million, you get a little more probably, you know, and I think people see that and they know and they expect things. You know, we're going year 6 right now, right? So
yeah.
Year 6, you got expectations. That's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Tua has earned expectations in my eyes. So that's not really a bad thing. Like, we have seen Tua go out there and play with the best of them, like deliver time, you know, in times we needed him. But I think the best thing I can say is we had the fish tank guys on last night. Obviously, OJ McDuffie and Seth Levitt. A good point they made was, you know, hold on, I lost my thought. No, so all off season, I really did.
The fish tank point.
Yeah, all off season, we use this narrative or excuse or like fill in excuse that if Tua's healthy for 17 weeks, this team can go win 11 games, win a playoff game. So the fact that has been the issue the first 3 weeks after basically hanging our hat on that all off season. If Tua's healthy, Tua's healthy. I mean, he's on the field. And, you know, he has been an issue. Like, he's had an interception in all 3 games this season. He's not been accurate, like Jason said. He's not been as accurate as he normally is. He's kind of frantic a little bit. It seems like the clock has really started ticking in his head. And some of that might be because he knows he can't get hit. He doesn't want to get injured. He has that responsibility on his shoulders. He wears it heavy. I've heard like he really does care about that. He wants to be on the field. And some of that might be from playing behind bad O-lines, taking some hits. He has been hit a lot. So, that clock speeds up. Everybody knows how that works. I don't have to explain that to anyone. I think there is still time. I think he kind of showed a little more of that athleticism last week. He got out of the pocket some. There was a couple head-scratching moments, like turning completely north to the offensive line and running the other way. That was a head-scratcher, and the pocket was clean that time. That was the craziest part. Aaron Brewer was even scratching his nose. He didn't even know what to do because there was no pressure.
Yeah.
I think that Tua still has time to turn it around. We go and reel off 6 wins out of the next 8 weeks. What are we really talking about here? I think he has time. He showed some flashes of athleticism, getting out of the pocket, moving around a little bit, but he hasn't done it so far this year. We can only talk about what's in front of us. No one can get mad at you for objectively talking about what the team puts in front of you. That's all you can talk about.
Yeah. And the thing is, real quick, I know, Jason, you want to get a point in here, but when you said, like, let's say we end up, we beat the Jets, we beat the Pets. We end up, we're 4-5. My opinion doesn't change. I just think we're kicking it down the line. That's where the difference is. I've kind of come to the finality of he's not the long-term guy. Well, I mean, with the whole organization. I mean, we can talk about that later, but with the three-headed monster, I like to call him. But we talked about, just to let you know, on last show, some of these things. That one play we did show on the All-22, he completely turned his head backwards. He was like running towards the other end zone when the pocket was decently clean. Yeah. I made the point, and my biggest point on that show was what Tua's superpower was. Seeing guys open before they get open. He's waiting for guys to get open now. If he doesn't do that, he's not big, he's not strong, he's not fast. He doesn't have a big arm. The arm looks weaker for whatever reason. I'm not a doctor. It could be the hip. Could be a cumulative of things together. But what he's not doing is he's not throwing guys open like he used to in the linebacker. Whoa, what just happened? He'd see it so quick. Now, if he doesn't have that, this offense is going to look the same. To me, and the timidness in the pocket, whether he's thinking about getting hurt or when he hears the noise in his head, it's getting to him. And I made a comment a few weeks ago, like if he's in that mindset, he shouldn't be out there playing. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, that it's easy for me to say, but as, obviously Tua wants to play, but as an organization, if all that stuff is going on, you're not mentally prepared to play or physically right now. So for me, those are the kind of the biggest things. Jason, I know you want to jump in here. Shout out to everybody in the chat who's joining us. We appreciate it. Make sure you're coming over to YouTube. We got Bobby Shouts in the house from the dive bar. We're breaking things down. Go ahead, Jason.
No, it's like the interceptions. It's at really kind of a double of what his norm is. In the first 5 years of his career, he had a 2.2 interception percentage. And I know it's a small sample size with 3 games, but he's doubled that to 4.5 this season. He's got 4 picks in 3 games, and that's just un-Tua-like. And you could also blame so many different things like the team build, like what management does, what McDaniel's shortcomings were, despite him calling a very nice game on Thursday against the Bills. Yes, I get it. There's a mix. But if there's anything to remedy that, and I know we're going to talk the Jets preview, the Jets are not the same defensive front than they were last year and in the last several years. And they are one of the dead last teams. They are second to last in pressures and hurries. So if there's ever a game for Tua to look and feel and hopefully act more comfortable, because that's my word for him, is uncomfortable right now. He doesn't look comfortable. He looks very uncomfortable. So this Monday night game could very well be a remedy game on the short term, which could extend the livelihood of that 3-headed monster and get us all back in the mix here, because when you count them in the next 5-6 games, you should have a winning record in the next 5 or 6 games. You really, truly should. And throughout the lifeblood of the season, you can count still 6 or 7 wins that should be 6 or 7 wins. So, is that what everyone wants to hear? Mediocrity, not necessarily playoff, whatever. But I don't think this is the worst team in the league. And I know 0-3 sounds it, but they are a tad bit better than their record is. And I know a lot of people like to say you are what your record says you are. But, and I know the boys at the Fish Tank kind of referenced this too, it could have been 2-1, with a couple of things going the right way for them. So let's see what happens Monday. And it would not shock me if Tua throws for 270 for 3 touchdowns and they win 27-17. It would not shock me. But again, it also wouldn't shock me if these issues continue.
Yeah.
Sorry to hedge there, but that's
we'll get into more of the Jets game breakdown, and the Jets defense has been disappointing. But I mean, look, doing these show, Bobby can tell he has his own show on the dive bar. We want the two of them to succeed. We want him to win, but I feel like it's fair what I do here, and what we have to do is to give you the honest truth, and that's kind of what it's been. But we'll leave Tua alone for now. Bobby, we talk about the Jets. How did we get here? 0-3. What happened? The defense was supposed to be the strength. The offense is going to have a different personality. How did we get to this 0-3? What's happened here that we're sitting here 0-3 in this kind of crisis?
I mean, I think that's the craziest part is we don't know. Because, dude, the defense hasn't got off the bus yet. Second half versus the Bills was a lot better. I mean, situations made that game get ugly at the end. It was a heartbreaking way to lose, but the defense did play pretty good in the second half. I think the special teams has been pretty solid for the most part. I mean, you got the Malik Washington touchdown. I mean, I think that we've had a lot of returns. We've started a lot of drives at the 40-yard line. So I think that's probably the most head-scratching part about it all is that the things that we thought we could hang our hat on this offseason have been disappointing. Tua hasn't been clicking. The front seven is what? Nothing. I mean, invisible. Bradley Chubb, probably our best player on the defense this year, if I had to put money on somebody. I mean, and that's probably not the person anybody predicted. I don't know. I thought McDaniel, encouraging last week, McDaniel probably called one of his best games in a long time against the Bills. So that made me feel really good. I really love that game plan. I love that Ollie's starting to get more and more involved. They're hopefully lean more and more into that physicality style. And, the defense just got to get going. Hopefully they found something in the second half. Hopefully that wasn't a fluke. But, if you could play good defense against Josh Allen, you could definitely do it against, Justin Fields or fucking Tyrod Taylor.
Either one. It's, but we said that about Daniel. We said that about Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. Either one. I actually thought I'd rather have played Richardson, but who would you guys quickly, both of you, would you rather face Fields or Taylor? It's about the same thing.
Probably Taylor for me, just because. Yeah, Fields is explosive with his legs, regardless of what he can do with his arm.
That's the problem.
I don't want a game plan for a guy that runs a 4-3. We know how that goes with us. I don't want to worry about that. I don't want to watch guys pick up 3rd and 7s all day. I don't have time for it.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
We got about 123 on all platforms. If you're watching anywhere else, come over to YouTube. Drop it. We're hanging with Bobby Schaus and, of course, Jason Sarney. We're breaking down the game, how we got here, what we got to do to finally get on the board. Hopefully it's more positive. You mentioned the defense. What's the problem? Is it scheme? Is it personnel? Jason, you can go ahead first. Is it doesn't have the personnel to run the Weaver? Because to me, it's the inside pressures lacking and the zone coverage has been. I think Josh Allen, at one point, was 12 for 12 in that game against zone coverage. Jason, I'll start with you. What's been the problem with the defense? Because that's the thing that's shocked me the most.
I mean, look, it's a weird paradox of them leading the league in blitz percentage and being one of the last teams in pressure percentage, and they're not forcing any turnovers. They're one of 3 teams in this league that have 0 turnovers. The Jets are another one, and the Washington Commanders, and they're both on the schedule, obviously. So that's a very interesting scenario. And last year they weren't necessarily taking the ball away at a massive clip. I think they were kind of, maybe you could even call them in the bottom third of the league in that stat. So Weaver really has to fix things up. Zach Sealer has not been Zach Sealer. Now you could ask, why is that? Is it because maybe the last 2, and nothing against Zach Sealer whatsoever, but 2 years ago, he had his best year with next to Christian Wilkins on that line. And then last year, Hall of Famer Calais Campbell. And now with him as the guy, where coordinators are saying we have to take him away, you're looking at the number 1 draft pick from this year, Kenneth Grant. And I'm not ready to call him a bust. Has he been playing well? No. But let's look at Chop Robinson from last year. Different player, But he took until about week 7, week 8 to get going. And then you look at his second half of the year, he was one of the most prolific pass rushers and just overall pressure players in the game. Hopefully, the same could be said for Kenneth Grant, where it's not a rookie wall that they're running into. It's the time that they're going to decide to run through that wall. So Kenneth Grant, I'm not giving hope on just yet. What I'm worried about, it's on the offensive side of the ball, is Jonas Avaianaya, but we're talking defense here right now. Now, also, you could blame Weaver. You could blame scheme. Unfortunately, the injury bug had taken away Kader Kohu, so you immediately have to go to the streets and get another couple of cornerbacks. You lose players to injury early on, and you have to reshuffle. And you have rookies that you're throwing in the mix who get hurt in Jason Marshall Jr. Shout out to Dante Trader Jr. I have a feeling he's going to progress and maybe make some plays as soon as Monday night. But they need to generate more pressure, not rely on blitzing. And if they are going to continue the blitzing and not be generating pressure, they're going to have to turn those into interceptions, turnovers, batted balls, or maybe even sack fumbles, which they're not doing at this moment. So it ain't just one person. It's not just the coordinator. It's not just whatever. It is a blender of things that you're all mixing together, and that's not a good equation when there's problems on the offensive side. But hopefully that could be masked.
Yeah, I agree. The takeaways, both teams having these are two similar teams, really. I think the Dolphins have more talent, and at the end we'll get into our final predictions. But they're similar teams here, and something's got to give on all levels for this game. All right, I'll ask you the same question, Bobby, about the defense. What do you think it is? Personnel scheme? He doesn't, it's tough because I know a lot of people say, oh, well, Weaver doesn't have the guys to run what he wants. Whose fault is that, though? I mean, Weaver has a hand in all these guys, right? Picking them. Because I know for you, probably defense has been the most surprising thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're the 32nd ranked defense in football. We had limited talent in the holes last year and finished like 9th. So to me, that has been a real head scratcher. And I know this is kind of like an easy way out, but I honestly just kind of feel like these guys kind of got sand in their ass. I mean, I feel like they just hadn't got off the bus and been motivated and really went out there and earned it yet. I think that this defense can turn it around. I think they can play better than they are with the talent they have. I think they just kind of got to figure out some things. Another thing is I really love the way they built this team with the young guys, all the defensive tackles and whatnot, the young safety, the Jason Marshall at corner. I like these guys, but reality is, just like Chop last year, it may take 8 weeks for these guys to start turning that corner. Well, same shit we was talking about last year with Chop Robinson. So reality is, when you go all in and you put your coins in on rookies, you got to deal with that learning curve. You don't have Calais Campbell, who has seen everything and some. You don't have those guys to kind of just steer the ship a little bit. And I don't think, so much that Stiller's lost anything so much as just he's just not making the standout plays. He's not getting to the quarterback. He's not causing, and that goes for the whole defense. No one's making those plays where we put points on the board or get the offense back the ball in the other team's side of the field. So, I think we just need to start getting our hands on the quarterback, getting our hands on the ball, and, playing with a little more fire on that side. And I think we'll get there. Another thing that seems concerning to me is and I'm not out there, so I can't really speak on it, but it looks like I think Jordan Brooks actually did kind of confirm this. It looks like there's a lot of yelling going on out there and people don't know what the hell is going on. It looks like a lot of confusion. Jordan Brooks says they need to improve on the communication. It looks like they're communicating. Maybe people just don't understand. I don't know. And maybe that goes back with the youth thing. I see a lot of communicating, but it looks frantic. It doesn't look like, you know what I'm saying? Like
the 2 linebackers are fighting in training camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that could be good. That could be good or bad, though.
That goes on Weaver, right, though? That's on Weaver.
Yeah,
he's got to make it where these guys understand what's going on. If now they shouldn't be on the field, that's got to be on Weaver. And when you talked about Sealer, and I'll let you finish, he doesn't have Campbell next to him now. These teams are game planning it. And you got 2 young guys next to him, and Grant and Phillips. They're young. They're throwing, I don't know, he's facing like 60% double teams. I don't want to hear that. He's got to win. He's got to create pressure inside, but they're game planning for him now. It's like in the NBA, You game plan for Tyler Hero, things change. He's got a counter. You know what I mean? So it's. Do you guys agree with that it could be just simple, Bobby? They're game planning for Sealer now, and he's got to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe so. I mean, but you make a good point as far as like Weaver has to kind of make these things like digestible to the young guys. If you know you got half your roster on defense is young guys that aren't really understanding things, you got to make it more digestible. The same point has been made this season about Mike McDaniel. You know, if it's year 4, and yeah, it's not great that Tyreek Hill still doesn't know where the hell to line up at, but you know Tyreek Hill doesn't know where the hell to line up at. You need to change something before year 4. Like, if you know this is the case, do something different. Simplify things. Maybe don't simplify things for everybody, but fix it for the receivers. If that's the struggle, you got to know your talent and what people are capable of. You can't just be like, well, I'm a genius, so everybody else needs to be a genius. It's just not how it works. These guys are athletes. They're not rocket scientists. So, yeah, I do think that could fall in somewhat of Weaver's hands there.
We're not splitting atoms here. We're not splitting atoms. We're playing football.
And to keep that point, I think that the best thing that McDaniel could do is literally dumb it down. Keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean? Like, get back to this is a game of football that in the grand scheme of things could be a power game where you could rely on rushing the ball and playing solid defense to win games. And they're not doing either. So if you give Ollie Gordon more carries, maybe you mix things up on the offensive line. Look, George, was I saying I wanted Jonas Avayai on the right side all year and he's doing horrible on the left? You know, that's where I wanted him. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but change it up. You know what I mean? If Darren Waller, sorry to mention him, if he plays Monday and he could be a difference and bring a big body presence in a tight end or a slot area, that could open things up. And then now you're talking, if you give Ollie Gordon, the number is 8 to me. 8 at the very least, every single game carries for Ollie Gordon. Keep Achane around, 12, 13 carries and his 6 or 7 receptions. Keep it around the 20 touches. Mix in Gordon. And then if Waller is being able to keep the defense accountable for the tight end position, you could open things up deep for the play action when safeties have to account for either a running game or a tight end who's a 6'6" presence in the slot even. So keep it simple. And honestly, tell you the truth, even if Waller does play well, I think that they should go out there. If they start winning 1 or 2 games, if they get back into this thing, I think you go into the market, you got to trade for a tight end who could do both blocking and catching the ball. I think they still need to do that if they could win a game or 2 and want to try to get back in. I would have loved for them to go out and get Cole Kmet, but I don't think that's going to happen from the Bears standpoint. But still stings me that they didn't sign Noah Fant or what have you. But they need to change things up. And if McDaniel is such a genius, he could look like an absolute brainiac if he literally dumbs it down. And I know that sounds a little ridiculous, but it could actually help this offense to simplify things a lot.
Yeah. We got about 174 on all platforms. Come on over to YouTube. Check us out. Make sure you drop those likes. We got Bobby in the house from the dive bar. All right, Bobby, you mentioned Waller. How much of an impact is that going to be? Is it going to open anything up to you? Connor's been, and Hill have been, Hill had the one pass, the touchdown or whatever.
Got called back.
Yeah, he got called back.
He had a 2-point conversion.
He got a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, that's right. We're doing big things at that position.
Down 30.
How much do you think Waller can open things up here and affect game 1 here? How much do you think his presence is going to be felt?
Look, we've done the full circle with Waller now, right? Yeah. We've experienced, he had a clean slate. Then the weirdest thing happened, of course, because that's Dolphins, OBJ, Will Fuller. I always thought he wanted to play. He did want to play. He does want to play. So that was a good thing to hear. I don't know what was going on with the injury. You don't really get told about stuff like that. That's kind of been hush hush. But like Derek Wingo came on our live show. He was our first guest. He works for Rosenhaus. Yeah. He's at those practices. He's in those meetings, and Waller wants to be on the field. I said this 1,000 times. You don't come out of retirement for $1 million unless you want to play football. There's no reason. There's no benefit for Waller to come off the couch. And that's something no one talks about. It's like, Will Fuller got $10 million guaranteed. Fully guaranteed $10 million. Yeah, I'll come rob you. Waller had that $1 million, let's be honest, that's not enough to get off the couch. If you thought you didn't want to play football before, that's not going to change your mind. Waller wants to give it a shot. He's with Frank Smith, a guy that he thinks will use him properly. And I'll say this, the health is going to be critical. The health, especially now that we got question marks. I don't know that Waller plays this whole game or much less the rest of the season. But I'll say this, and I've said this before, even before this weird injury thing. You can't teach 6'6" in the slot, moving around. I don't care if Waller does nothing. You now have to account for that. No one accounts for Julian Hill. No one's scheming for Tanner Connor. I don't care what you think about Julian or Darren Waller. Coaches do. They will be watching Darren Waller. They will have to account for him. And he might have lost a step, whatever. He's the best tight end you've seen in a Dolphins uniform probably in 10 years. So, besides Jonnu Smith, of course, obviously. But I'm saying the disrespect is warranted to a sense because you got to go off the couch. But that's what you got. But he still will add to the offense, I believe, because even if he's not Darren Waller you know and love, he's still a 6'6" target that you did not have before. He's a freak of nature. He can always go up and catch a ball over anyone in the red zone. I do think he'll have an impact. Just having him out there, I think, helps the dynamic. Like Jason said, you got to at least account for him. Maybe that pulls a linebacker up. Maybe that brings the extra safety down. You always got to have a guy that can run with him and defend him because he can run too. I think it could help. Regardless, I'm not saying he's going to come out here and be Jonnu. That's not the point. But I do think you have to account for him, and that means a lot considering where we were before.
Oh yeah. And he's long. There's not many guys who played that position. I mean, I think I forget who said it was Malik Washington today or yesterday. Like the guy just towers over everybody when he comes in the huddle. Mm-hmm. And you got to make, these high-low concepts they run, these crosses, you got to make these linebackers decide.
Yeah.
We're going to decide real quick on Tanner Connor and leave him and Julian Hill. You got to think twice about Waller. So this, and especially what I think they should do, and we'll get into the game plan here, what they should do is kind of keep it simple, and we'll talk about that. But before we do that, I want to talk about this whole thing with the rookie class stuff. It's kind of irking me. Yes, would I have liked Kenneth Grant to play better, Jonah, Jason Marshall Jr., you name them. But it's only 3 games. Yeah. And everybody loves how Tate Ratledge played against Monday night. Was a Monday, right? Look at his PFF grade before that. It was like in the 50s, right? Jonah's got a lot of stuff to clean up, and I'll be the first one to tell you that. It's stuff that I don't know how Butch Berry hasn't cleaned up. But remember, it's just only 3 games in his rookie class and Kenneth Grant. I remember that if you would have graded Chop Robinson, which obviously he's not having a great year so far, like you said, Bobby, over the first 3 games, you'd be like, oh, okay, here we go again. Then he turned it on. You never know when the light bulb goes on for these guys. I want to get both of your thoughts on that whole thing with the rookie classes. Do you believe people are overreacting? I'll start with you, Jason. Kind of your thoughts. Of course, we would like to see them better, but I think we got to keep that in mind, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Referencing Chop again, you can't use the first 3 games and then say, all right, the next 14, he's a bust. You can't do that. And even if you're not talking about rookies, Jonnu Smith didn't really get going until week 6 or 7 last year as well. And then he just went ballistic. But as for the rookie class, you need to get them a little bit more assimilated, maybe dumbing it down offensively. Maybe Weaver's got to really be a coach and work with these young kids. And I don't know if there's, a lack of a veteran or a captaincy or leadership scenario where a player is taking the rookie under his wing and saying, like, look, young blood, do it this way. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's happening or not, but I think that it's too early, way too. You can't really judge a rookie class before Halloween. You really can't, individually or as a class. It's too early. Get to the halfway point of the season before you could have a glimpse. And even last year, at the halfway point, people were calling Robinson a bust, and that was way too premature. Look what he did in the second half. So, the unfortunate thing is you have 2 rookies who are advertised as top 40, top 50 kind of picks, and the rest are day 3ers. You know what I mean? So it's like you get what you pay for. Sure. Yeah. You paid quite literally and figuratively, you paid for 2 guys who have to be immediate impact players. Kenneth Grant and Jonah have been immediate detrimental players at the moment. So they need to take a quantum leap. Not one of them, both of them, for this class to have any sort of significant significance at all. Both of them have to take a Chop Robinson-like leap in the next month. For my money, if one of Jason Marshall, if he's healthy, and Dante Trader step up, that's a win. Ollie Gordon, we know what he's capable of. Give this kid the ball more. And, you know, I'm not judging Zeke Figures just yet. You know, he's a seventh rounder. Quinn Ewers, we're not judging him. He's a seventh rounder. So take a little pause before you start calling these rookies or a rookie a bust. We are September 24th. We're 3 days after the official end of summer.
Yeah.
Think about that. We need some time.
Yeah, plus it's the first two guys everybody's talking about. And you got to remember the position they played, lineman. Very difficult. Bobby, your thoughts on that whole thing?
Yeah, I think, once again, the expectations is kind of messing people's head up. I think you draft a guy that's a monster at defensive tackle at 13. You expect to see all this stuff. And I don't think Kenneth Grant has played terrible. I just don't think he's had an impact really yet. So while I know that, just like Siller, the shit's not popping off the screen, but like Kenneth Grant's not getting, dog walk 10 yards off the ball. Like, he's not playing terrible.
It's the PFF numbers. People see that.
Sealer also playing so bad that magnifies everything too.
Yeah. And with Jonah, look, Jonah's probably playing bad. If you're going to say somebody's playing bad, it's probably Jonah. You trade up to get him. We've seen this story before with Liam. But I think, look, regardless of all of this, Jonah was always going to have a transition a little more aggressive. He's talking about CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know. So, let me check and break and make sure we did it. Go ahead, Bobby.
Jonah was always going to have an uphill battle because we talked about this with Cam Wolf in the offseason. You take a guy that's played nothing but right side of the line his whole life, and you switch him to the left. You go in the bathroom right now. If you're right-handed, try to wipe your ass with your left. It's not that simple. It really isn't. You're going to need to take a shower afterwards, and your wife's going to be pissed.
But the weird thing is, the thing that you could blame, real quick, George, they've done this so many times. They've tried to cross-train and have this, here's a great idea. Let's switch them. No. Why are you out-thinking yourself? Stick to the man side that you drafted him on, not even the position. Right tackle. He's playing not even right guard. He's playing left guard. So you're asking him to do exactly your reference. I won't repeat it. You said it eloquently. But you're asking him to do it in a whole different location as well.
Yes, I think that, bottom line, what your job is with a rookie is simple. To put them in the best place possible to succeed. Had they done that with Jonah? No. And I think it hurts more because it made sense with the O-line healthy, at least, that you want to do this. I get that. It's kind of a little like in Step Brothers. The tuxedos are kind of fucked up now. It's a little messed up now because James Daniel was already out. So now it's like, man, you could have had this guy the right side this whole time. And then, I thought maybe they might switch it then. But at least I'll give them that. They're sticking him to the left side, and that's that. It does appear. I do understand wanting him to be on the left side with Paul, so you always have that run ability or the idea that this is going to, if we need 3 yards, we can go there. And I mean, we have ran the ball pretty good to the left side still. That was a thing in preseason.
We don't run enough.
Yeah, it's still kind of been a thing, to be honest. I mean, they're running the ball pretty strong on the left side. So, and I hate to say this, but I think of somebody else that needs a little, has to take some of the credit. Ingold has been off a little bit, man. He's not laying the boom like he used to. He's kind of lunging at people.
Maybe with Waller coming back, how many of this?
That's true too. They're kind of getting Ingold out there in space a little bit, like moving him around.
I'm like, I don't want to see you run no 10-yard dig routes, bro. Like, what are you doing?
It's bad because it's bad because of the talent we have makes him play that position.
Yeah.
But we kind of knew that was probably going to be a thing. We knew that Ingold, once again, was going to have to probably wear more hats than he needed to. And it's showing. Let my guy line up, I formation, and knock heads. That's what he's good at. He don't need to be coming in motion, trying to block guys 5 yards outside the tackle. Like, it's unnatural. But that goes back to talking about the thing. Quit putting guys, but that's the problem. The talent and the lack of depth in certain spots keeps making us do shit we're not supposed to do. Like, we're not supposed to be trying to do this. not the way it's supposed to be working. But, nonetheless, Ingold hasn't been the best Ingold, the guy we're used to seeing out there. But the run game has been pretty solid, honestly. I think if we ran the ball more, we were in more, advantageous situations, we'd probably see it more. We haven't been. That's another thing to consider. We haven't even seen what they think complementary football or this real offense is going to look like yet, because we keep playing from behind. Right. No matter who they put in front of us, we have not seen a real game plan yet, defensively or offensively. And that's another thing to consider. That's actually a great point to consider. We don't know what the hell Weaver has in store, or what his vision probably goes out the window after 2 drives.
I mean, the thing is, Bobby, to play off that point, they have not had a lead, maybe like a minute or two. But if you are a 1-possession game, it's not time to abandon a run. If you're down by 10, 14 plus points in the fourth quarter, I get it, you got to throw. But if you're looking for an equalizer, it goes back to the Buffalo game where Tua threw that pick in the fourth quarter. You could have run the ball on first down. You could have thrown an I formation, Ingold lead blocking for Ollie Gordon twice, and then on 3rd and 2, maybe pick up a first down with a cheap little dig route or slant route to Tyreek or Waddle, or maybe even go for a touchdown. But you need to set up this strength of the offense with a powerful running attack. Ingold could be a part of that. So I hope that we see it. And if, God willing, they can go up 10-3, 17-10, that's the time to really flip it and say, you know what? Let's get 6-7 minute drives. Let's use Ollie. Let's sprinkle in Achane. But and look, it'll be great to see if Weaver can cook up some fun things. If you're up by 10 plus points, that would be amazing to kind of put the clamp on people. But
maybe that's why the game plan looked so good against Buffalo, because it finally was a close game. Before the interception, let's not act like I was loving the offense.
I like the balance. The offense was great.
I love the power, the look of it.
I thought it was the best game plan he could have called for this game.
Yes, that was our first true look of like, all right, it's 0-0 basically. It's 21-21. What does the offense look like? If that's what it looks like, I'm happy. Maybe a shot or two here, of course. You want that, but I liked it. That if that's what we're going to see moving forward in competitive football, then I think we'll be fine. But
yeah. Let's get into the game plan here. Let's get into for the Jets what we like to see. Let's get into this game. All right. So for me, I think offensively, I kind of want to see, like you said, Bobby, a lot of the same that we saw in this game. I want to see more I formation. I want to see play action, short, quick passes from Tua. Just look, Tua obviously is not throwing the ball downfield. Why, what, when, how, the reasons, we don't know. He's obviously not confident in his arm. He's waiting. I think it's part of the reason he's waiting for guys to get open. He's trying to gather himself. He just doesn't have the confidence for whatever reason. Right? Maybe it's an injury we don't know about, or the injuries accumulated, what we talked about. But whatever. I digress. We're here now. I think I form a lot more of Gordon in the backfield too. I don't mind if Gordon got more carries than Achane. Achane is more involved in the passing game. If I come out of this game and I see Gordon with 12 carries and Achane with 10, but Achane has 7 catches for 80 yards, I'm fine with that. I formation, Ingold at fullback, play action. Let Tua do what he does. Read quick and get rid of the ball. And if some shots open downfield, you hit them. That would be my simple base kind of game plan. We'll start with you, Jason. How do you want to see the offense here? Do you want to see it simplified, dumbed down, like you said with McDaniel?
What I would absolutely love to see is a little bit, because we're talking about a whole different offense and a whole different skill set of players and type of players, kind of. But look what the Detroit Lions did with their 2 unbelievable running backs on the field at the same time. And sometimes you throw Sam Laporta in the backfield. Sometimes you throw Amon-Ra St. Brown in the backfield. And they're doing these fun easy trick plays. Like that handoff to Amon-Ra and that pitch to Gibbs. That was phenomenal. There was a play where Gibbs and Montgomery, that clearly the best tandem in the league. I mean, clearly the best running back tandem. You throw Sam Laporta back there like he's a fullback, and it was just a gorgeous play. Now, the Dolphins do not have anything close to a Sam Laporta. I get that. But if you could put Achane and Gordon on the field at the same time, set them up with a couple of Gordon runs, set them up with, maybe a play action and then hitting Achane in the flats or on one of those kind of cross routes. And then in the third quarter, when they're on it again and everyone's like, all right, First option is the handoff to Gordon. Second is H. Then you take a shot. Then you look for Waller in a fade in the end zone, if it's in the red zone, to a 6'6" target and not a 5'10" receiver. You know what I mean? So this is like, we all say, this is chess, not checkers. The Dolphins are playing tic-tac-toe. You don't have to necessarily play chess, but it's an easy checker strategy to kind of do something a little different here. I would love to see Gordon and HN on the field a lot together more.
Don't you hate watching the Lions thinking
I love it, but hate it.
Well, here's my point. They lose Ben Johnson, and they're still cooking like that. Like, what? Like, we can't get the coach right one time. They just keep rolling.
Because I think Dan Campbell is smart enough to know that even if the guy leaves, make sure the blueprints don't. So whoever, keep the blueprints here. And let's still do that fun stuff because
did you see the Ben Johnson picture when he was in the Dolphins wide receiver coach, like a young Ben Johnson? But that happens everywhere. Like if you go through the list of guys, people make.
We've lost a lot of coaches who have
so Bobby, game plan for you, simplify. Are you on the same page here? You want to see a lot what we saw because the Jets defense. Look, they don't take the ball. They're very simple. They've been disappointing. I mean, they had Steve Wilkes, their coordinators, under a lot of heat. Him and Eric Glenn are not seeing eye to eye, kind of zone man. They kind of mix. They don't play. They kind of mix up a lot of their coverages. But their defense has been disappointing. I mean, they got a stud in the middle, in Quentin Williams. They got Sauce. How would you attack kind of this Jets defense, or is it more what Miami does?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's going to be huge, their injuries. They have a few guys that are going to miss this week.
Good point.
Guys that are very important, guys that would stop us from being successful running the ball. And I think we're going to finally see, hopefully, a game that's 0-0 and we take the charge. And I would just love to see us get up there, run the ball, make a team respect the run, and then play off of that. Do some play action, get you a shot, get a guy, play action, guy comes wide open on a clear route, a drag route, whatever, get a big gain after the run, get somebody open, So, yeah, I just want to keep it simple. And another thing with the Jets defense, they're not playing great, but here's the thing you got to watch with teams like this. They got talent on defense.
Yes, they do.
Teams that don't have a quarterback will fold up. Defenses aren't going to come out there over and over and over after watching 3 and out after 3 and out after 3 and out, knowing that the other side of the ball has not got anything for them. So, hey, if they want to roll on over Monday night, please.
Yeah. And I'll tell you another key.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you another key is going to be third down. The Jets defense, they're like 9th in third down. They're not bad on third down defense. Stay out of those third and longs. Stay out of them. Keep it third and manageable. I think that's going to be on both sides. But I think third down is staying on the field there and giving the defense some rest. Go ahead, Jason.
And another part of the game plan, for the love of God, and I know he did really well against the Patriots. Jalen Waddle is a Jet slayer. 45 catches out of 56 targets, 531 yards. He averages around 75.9 yards a game against them. 80.4% catch rate against the New York Jets. So mix that with utilizing Gordon in the run game and softening up that defense and having them account for a power run game. And then you could hit Waddle over the middle and let him take it the distance. Then worry about Tyreek Hill getting his action in. But I think that if Waddle could do what he does against this team, they're going to be successful mixed with those other components we've been talking about.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. What about on defense here? I think key is for the Dolphins, for me, is third downs as well. The Dolphins are 31st in third down defense. The Jets are 30th in third down offense. One's got to give,
right.
But you've seen these quarterbacks eat the Dolphins up 34, 35, take off and run. And if it's Fields or it's Taylor, both are mobile. And it clearly stopped the run. They're going to go with – they got Breece Hall, obviously. They got Braylon Allen, even Isaiah Davis. To me, I'm selling out. Make Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor beat you. Their offensive line, they got a couple of young guys I really like. But that's how I would play and pressure. You got to get pressure inside. But that'd be my basic – we'll start with you, Bobby. Kind of defensive game plan versus the Jets here. How would you kind of attack that?
Yeah, for better or worse, like you said, for better or worse, I'm sitting in the house. I'm getting after them.
If I'm going to lose, you beat me. Yeah.
I don't care how thin the secondary is or who's back there. If you cannot guard Tyrod Taylor for damn 3 seconds. It should be less than that. We got bigger issues here. Your Monday night season's on the line every week now. You got to make a statement. Let's force a turnover. Let's have one of those 6-sack games. Just like where the hell this come from? Get after them. Go get it. Play a good game. Well, let's get out of there with our first victory of the year. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, please. And so we can stop being negative, right? Jason,
and Jalen Phillips needs to have a banner game here too, because he's been. I don't want to see him drop back in coverage. We've been beating that horse dead with a stick, but he's getting close, but he's not getting home. If he can get his hands on a quarterback, if he could be the Jalen Phillips, and he's done well against the Jets too, pair of sacks in a couple of games. Also, the game that he got hurt a couple of years ago too. Of course, I don't want to bring that up, but we need to see him be the Jalen Phillips of prior to the injuries, because if that can mix in with everything else, and Chubb, he's got 3 straight sacks too, and hopefully Chop Robinson can get involved too. But I agree, send the house, keep that blitz rate up, but they need more interior defensive pressure.
Challenge those young tackles. They got two talented. Fashanu and Membo, who's a beast.
Membo's a beast. Yeah,
he's a beast. They got 2 young tackles. Challenge him,
And Jordan Phillips needs to, just continue being Jordan Phillips too. And they got Breece Hall. That's a problem. But Jordan Phillips is going to be a key to this game as well.
Yes. He gets as many snaps as Grant.
Yeah. I just want to get y'all's opinion on that. The crazy thing about the defensive lineman dropping back in coverage is like when I see it happen, like I'm watching it, I see like Jalen Phillips drop back. They're in position. They just don't know what to do once they get there.
They can't play this. They're not good at zone, man.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah, maybe it's a waste of time. But I'm saying like the call itself isn't bad because it really works. Like they drop right back where the ball's going every time, and then they just go.
They're like feet are.
They watch the ball, right? Just like go ahead, get your first down real quick, buddy.
Phillips, I know the one play you're probably talking about. It's like his feet were in cement. They can't react. They read it, but they don't react.
Yes,
the whole zone coverage. They're not on the same page.
I'm just saying it's not as bad of a call as people think it is.
Yeah,
they're just not executing at the end of it. They really are dropping back and kind of taking off those passes, right? It's almost like they know it's coming, and they're there, and there's 3 guys, 3rd and 6, first down. It's like, damn, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I think takeaways. Both teams have struggled. I think whoever wins that has a good shot of winning this game. But we mentioned Jalen Phillips. Did you guys see that report by Dan Graziano about if they do kind of have a fire sale? And, we always said Chubb, but like Phillips is a guy they said on the final year of his contract. I wouldn't pay him if I was today. He could help a team, a veteran team that kind of needs some little help on the edge. How do you guys feel about it? Did that surprise you? When I think about it, it doesn't surprise me, but I always put Chubb first, I guess. We'll start with you, Jason.
Look, it'll be easier probably to trade a guy like Jalen Phillips, but obviously a much lesser return. But for all the money ramifications and a little bit, of course, the age versus the injury, it could be easier to trade. I'm not. It's not fire sale time yet. It's not. If you lose Monday night, it might be time. But you can easily get to 2 and 3. You have the Jets and the Panthers. You can get to 2 and 3. And that's not trade time. Well, it's not great, but it's not trade time. If they lose in the next 2 weeks, I would be making it's so the Dolphins. Yes, I would be fine with those reports or rumors, but it's a little tiny bit premature at the moment.
Oh, yeah, but I was just surprised his name was still. I guess I'm not surprised, but I wouldn't be doing as it stands today. Jason, I think we're not talking enough about this guy's came back from some devastating soft tissue injuries. Like maybe
in college.
Maybe the gear is just lost a little bit, and that's what he is. Or he needs a full year. It's a lot. Bobby, your thoughts?
I think, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, whatever. The reality of it is, when these rumors come out, who do you trade? Guys that either are going to save you a lot of money or are due a lot of money. If you don't plan on paying Jalen Phillips, and you got other people that, Jordan Brooks is looking for an extension. There's more people, other people you got to pay. if you don't plan on paying him, what's the point of keeping him? So it's not an insult. I love Jalen Phillips, the guy. Love Jalen Phillips.
Oh, yeah.
In a perfect world, you don't trade Jalen Phillips. In a perfect world, Jalen Phillips playing a lot better. But, we're in that scenario. And it's not a, insult or disrespect. But when it comes time to do the chopping, it's, you got locker room problem. Who's going to save us money? Who do we got to pay money? And you got to do the math. Yeah. And also that it's like, look, would we rather have Jalen Phillips here for the next 5 years and trade Bradley Chubb? Yeah, but this is the return. This is the money we'll have to eat. We restructured Chubb. Chubb's actually playing great. Maybe we didn't think that was going to be the case. Chubb's our best defensive player now. Maybe they feel good. Like, hey, Chubb's here. We're going to roll with Chubb.
Yeah. So, of course, if Jalen doesn't get hurt in 2023, you might have restructured him and extended him already last year if the second injury didn't happen. So if you take those 2 injuries away and Jalen Phillips was still he was on a 6-game sack tear. Bad choice of words, Jason. Bad choice of words. But he was on fire going into that Jet game in the Meadowlands in 2023.
That was also the best I've ever seen Bradley Chubb play. I remember even plays that Chubb had no business being in, like the Patriots game at the primetime game. Chasing down running backs 15, 20 yards down the field, forcing fumbles. Like Bradley Chubb was playing hard. And then Jalen Phillips having the career of his life, or the year of his life. And it just sucks. Like back-to-back weeks we lost those guys. Or the same game, was it?
No, Chubb was lost a little later against the Ravens.
Okay.
But going those like 5 or 6 games, 4 of those games, they both had a sack, I believe.
It was like a historic run. Yeah, as a duo, they were like feasting.
They were eating.
And Siller was right there with them.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So before we get into, a prediction of the game, or if the wheels fall off, and shout out to we got over 230 people on all platforms. You come on over to watch us on YouTube here. Make sure you drop the like. We're previewing the Dolphins Jets game with Bobby Shaw from the Dive Bar. If it falls off the rails, I mean, from what I've been hearing, there's going to be no changes, right? It would have to really fall through it. There's no scenario where this is McDaniel's last game, even if it's let's say it's a 34-13 loss. Is this McDaniel's last game?
Jason, probably not. I mean, I said, oh, sorry, Jason, you can go.
No, either one.
No, it's an easy no.
Yeah, I just thought that, look, in my head, I was so disappointed after the 0-2 start, knowing we had to go to Buffalo. It's unfortunate that a 10-point loss gives you confidence. I wouldn't say confidence is the word, but I think the way they played the Bills earned some time on that ticking bomb. I do. We lost. It's not moral victories, right? But reality is, I think the way they played the Bills bought them time. I do. They'll beat the Jets. They'll beat the Panthers. They'll do just enough to make shit seem interesting, just to break our heart again come January. Of course, they'll win their 9 games and ruin your draft pick. And
14th, we'll take a corner in the first round. Well, the quarterbacks we wanted out there, we're doing the cycle again.
Hey, John Mateer is helping us though. We could get him in the mid.
That's one of my questions I was going to end up. But we'll start now. Your favorite? We got to start talking about this. I'm a Sellers guy. That one throw he made last week on the run, man, I had goosebumps on the run. Just
goosebumps.
Envisioning a
I
Dolphins
see why people hating you for talking about Tua. Now you're ever getting goosebumps for another man.
Yeah. It happens. It happens. But yeah, him, Mateer.
Mateer is probably my favorite.
That's your guy, right?
His moxie, his athletic ability. To me,
Baker Mayfield in there.
Yeah, he's like a Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you the other guy if they had a baby. I don't want to piss people off right now, but I like the combination of what he's got going. He's got the athleticism.
The Penn State kid. I'm not as big on the Penn State kid, but he's got the size.
The tools. He's got the tools. People fall in love with the tools now. Yeah. Josh Allen made that cool. Josh Allen was terrible looking in college, had all the tools, was struggled for 2 or 3 years. We thought he was a bust. Yeah. Boy, did that backfire. That was a fun joke for a couple years, though.
I didn't want to have to start talking, or maybe I do like talking draft this early, but I didn't want to have to start talking.
It's part of the process.
Jason, give me a guy you like.
I'm intrigued by Fernando Mendoza. Intrigued.
The Cuban Missile?
I mean,
coming
look,
out.
let's talk marketing too. I mean, to bring the Cuban Missile Crisis to Miami. Come on now.
Man.
Yeah, he looked good, man. That was a big test for him.
Listen, I want a physical presence. I'm not talking about like your prototypical pocket passer this day and age. Those guys don't necessarily exist as much as 6'4", 6'5" guys who can tuck it and run when you need to. That's what I'm focusing on, and I'm intrigued about watching him the rest of the year. So I'm not going to crown him just yet because I don't necessarily want to crown the Dolphins the top 2 or 3 picking team yet either. But just to get that back to the McDaniel thing real quick, to get to 3-3 or 4-4, it's going to do exactly what Bobby said. It's going to get us to that 9-win out of the quarterback range. But if they're 1-5, if they lose to Herbert, they go into a 2-game road trip, and then they got that gauntlet. I don't see it.
Nasty.
The gauntlet's head. So if you're 4-4 going into the gauntlet and you lose 3 straight going into the bye week, you could talk about the firing again. But they're going to get a win. I think they're going to beat the Jets.
All right. So thanks, everybody in the chat. Let's end it on this. Final score predictions. We'll go with Bobby first. Or do I go first? Who do you want to go first?
I'm going first.
All right, you go first.
I never get to go first. No, I was kidding. No, I don't want to get too carried away here. I think we bounce back. I don't want to get I'd love to see it be like one of those games where it just all comes together. The defense feast. Offense has explosive plays. We score 30+ points. Defense holds the team to 10. I'm going to go with, let's go with 24-13, a solid, respectable win with a little bit of breathing room, and both sides had to play decent to make that happen.
We'll let Sonny go last. I'll go. All right. I look at this game. I think they simplified. I think there's more talent on the field. I think they finally get home on the quarterback, and you are facing Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields. I think this is a game. If they played like they did in Buffalo, they win this 27-20. If they play with that same effort and same pride, I think the Dolphins do have more. There's similar paths these teams right now. A lot of the statistical team stats are very similar. But I think the Dolphins got a little more talent. I think it's a bounce back. I think if they play with that pride they did on against the Bills, they come out 27-20. Jason, Sonny, take us home.
I like where you guys are going with this. I'll try to differentiate the score numerically, but I like this being a under touchdown win. Just to funkify it, let's call it 26-22 with some funky math.
Funky. A bold prediction in the game? Any bold predictions?
I think we get a bunch of sacks.
Yeah, I'll give you a bold prediction.
Okay.
And I think this could be new. I'm gonna give you a bold prediction. The Dolphins will not only get a turnover, they're gonna take one to the house. The defense will score a touchdown.
Who's it gonna be?
Sack that. Music to my eyes and ears when people celebrate would be a sack fumble. Jalen Phillips gets the sack fumble, and Minkah Fitzpatrick scoops it up, or someone scoops it up. Maybe even, I'll tell you what if Kenneth Grant scoops it up?
Give me that.
Oh, Jordan Davis action?
I'll tell you what. To go back to what Zach Sealer did against Buffalo a couple years ago, falling on a touchdown in the end zone. Let's hope that Jalen Phillips earns the sack, strips it, and then the big man from Michigan falls on it for 6. That would be phenomenal.
That would be awesome. I'd be down for that. My bold prediction is going to be that we just let the dogs loose. That pass rush, that front 7 finally lives up to the hype. Obviously, it's Tyrod Taylor probably is looking like, I think, Justin Fields has a clear protocol, and I don't think he's came back to practice yet, so it's not looking good for him.
Good for us.
So I think Tyrod Taylor used to be a menace to Miami. He really used to do it, but it's been 5 years. Yeah. Surely the ghost of Tyrod Taylor is not shredding us Monday night. It's prime time. It's time to put up, boys. I think the front 7 gets home. I'm talking like 4 to 6 sacks Monday night.
I buy that.
Ooh. I'm kind of with Sammy on the Ollie Gordon train. I've been wanting this, and it's got to pop.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Let's get. We got to start using HA more of a weapon, man. You have the power back. How nice was it last week? Seeing a big physical back, man. I mean, he runs hard. He he leans forward. It's 4 yards, man. It's so fun to watch him.
Two guys that I've not seen go down on the first tackle attempt: Ollie Gordon and Malik Washington. And I'll tell you, I got a fun stat cooking up because once Malik Washington, I don't want to say it now. I gotta wait. But once I'll give you a little. Once Malik Washington gets a receiving touchdown, he will join an under 6-person Miami Dolphins club. A very prestigious club. I'm going to leave you all with that because I have a feeling he gets into the end zone Monday night, and then I will tweet it out. I've been working on this for a week. Malik Washington on a receiving touchdown will join one of the coolest clubs in Dolphins.
Right. So stay tuned for Jason's tweet when that happens. Shout out to everybody who joined us in the chat, everybody who's watching. Man, drop those likes, share it. Guys, check out obviously Bobby with the dive bar. They got great stuff going on. They had a great episode yesterday with the boys from the Fish Tank, Seth Levitt and Uncle Duffy. We'll be back Saturday, countdown to game day. Me and Curtis early in the morning. Those 10:30 shows, I love them. 10:30 a.m. Then also we'll have Across the Sidelines. We got a special Jets reporter that will drop Friday evening. And, of course, we're live after the post game. I'll make a deal with Bobby. You come on the post game, I wear a dive bar hat on the post game show.
See, it's all these broads and dude.
I'll see you on the post game
I didn't need stipulations to give you the damn hat.
Well, that was Joe actually. I gotta give shout out to Joe Robbie.
I have to expense my purchases on my hat now.
I put up with a lot. I probably earned it, but anyways, all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on Saturday morning. Friday night, we have the Across the Sidelines. Then we'll be live right after game Monday night, post game with Bobby and me wearing a dive bar hat, maybe.
Thank you for joining us, Bobby.
Yeah, thank you.
Always love hanging out with you guys.
Plug anything you got going on, Bobby, on the channel. Anything? I know you had a show yesterday with we mentioned. Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, we got a couple former Dolphins lined up, hopefully coming soon. We always say never. But we got a couple things in the works, a couple of veterans. One that just trust me, it'll be
let's play a guessing game, Bobby. Let's play a guessing game.
No. It'll be interesting.
I'll get it on the phone later.
I'll give it to y'all. I'll give it to y'all after the show. I haven't even given it to the boys, honestly.
No. Hold on to it. It's good.
But I will say this. I'm not going to get into too many details. And also, we haven't even said this on our own show yet, but we have some exciting news coming soon. We're working on the T's and I's and all the details of the, everything in between, but we are making a move here soon and we're excited. The boys are excited. So
awesome. So check out for that. Very cool. Check out their social media. They'll let you know. So for Jason, for Bobby, for myself, guys, thanks so much for joining all the people in the chat and everybody. We'll see you next time, everybody. Fins up.